Over the next few weeks, our meetings became more frequent. Tae and I would discuss the logistics of the surrogacy and, in between the serious conversations, we began to share bits of our lives. I learned about his upbringing, the pressures of being in the spotlight, and how he yearned for genuine connections in a world that often felt superficial. One evening, as we walked through a park, the sky painted in shades of orange and pink, I couldn't help but feel more at ease with him. "You know, I didn't expect to like you this much," I admitted, a playful smile tugging at my lips. Tae laughed, his eyes sparkling. "I'll take that as a compliment." "It is," I replied, feeling a warmth spread in my chest. "You're not what I expected." "You're different." "Different how?" he asked, genuinely curious. "I thought you'd be more." "I don't know, unapproachable," I said, choosing my words carefully. "But you're actually really easy to talk to," Tae nodded thoughtfully. "I guess people often judge based on appearances. But I want to be more than just the handsome model everyone sees. I want to connect with people like you, who have real stories." As we continued to talk, I felt a connection growing between us, something I hadn't anticipated. We were both facing our own battles, yet here we were, finding solace in each other's company. I could sense Jungkook's hesitance about trusting me, and I understood. Life had thrown so much at him, and I admired his resilience. Watching him slowly open up was rewarding, and I found myself wanting to protect that light in him. One evening, as we sat in a quiet corner of a cafe, I reached for his hand, catching him off guard. "I know this is all new for you, but I want you to know that I'm here for you," I said softly. He looked down at our hands, then back at me, his expression conflicted. "It's just, this whole situation. I'm grateful for your help, but I don't want to complicate things." I squeezed his hands gently, hoping to convey my sincerity. "I'm not here to complicate your life, Jungkook. I genuinely care about your well-being and your brother's. If you need anything, just ask." His eyes softened, and I could see the walls he had built around himself starting to crumble. "Thank you, Tae. It means a lot." In that moment, I realized how much I wanted to be there for him, not just as a surrogate partner, but as a friend, and maybe even more. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between Tae and me deepened. I often found myself looking forward to our time together, sharing meals, laughter, and stories about our lives. He felt like a refuge from the chaos of my world, a reminder that I wasn't alone in this fight. One night, as we watched the stars twinkle against the dark sky, I shared a memory of Taehyung's laugh during a camping trip we had taken before our parents passed away. "He's always had this way of lighting up a room," I said, smiling at the thought. "Even during the toughest times, he can make me laugh." Tae listened intently, his gaze fixed on me. "He sounds like a wonderful kid. You're doing an incredible job taking care of him." "Sometimes, I feel like I'm failing," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "I worry that I won't be able to provide for him, especially now with this surrogacy, Jungkook," Tae said firmly, drawing my attention. "You're not failing. You're doing everything you can. You're sacrificing so much for him. That's what matters." I looked into his eyes, searching for the reassurance I needed. "It's just so hard sometimes. I wish I could give him the world, and you will," Tae replied, his voice steady. "You're stronger than you realize. I believe in you." In that moment, I felt something shift between us, a connection that ran deeper than friendship. I had never let anyone in so completely before, but with Tae, it felt natural. The day of the procedure arrived, and I felt a whirlwind of emotions, anxiety, hope, and a strange sense of excitement. Tae was there to support me, and his presence calmed my racing heart. As I lay on the hospital bed, preparing for the next step, I glanced at him. "Are you sure about this?" I asked, needing reassurance. He nodded, his expression unwavering. "More than ever. You're not alone in this." When the procedure was over, and I was resting, I felt a wave of relief wash over me. I was one step closer to providing for Ji-yoon, and with Tae by my side, I knew I could face whatever came next. Watching Jungkook go through this process filled me with admiration. He was brave, determined, and caring, everything I respected in a person. I found myself drawn to him more than I had anticipated, and it scared me. In the quiet moments we shared, I could feel the chemistry building, but I didn't want to rush anything. Jungkook had already been through so much, and I wanted to be the one who supported him, not just another complication in his life. As we left the clinic together, I could sense the change in our dynamic. We had crossed a line from mere acquaintances to something deeper, something that felt like it was meant to happen. As the weeks passed, I found myself more and more drawn to Jungkook. It was subtle at first, a lingering gaze, the warmth of his smile, but it quickly blossomed into something more profound. Watching him navigate his life, the sacrifices he made for his brother, and now for my future child, ignited feelings I had long suppressed. I often caught myself admiring him during our conversations, noticing the way his eyes sparkled when he talked about Ji-yoon or the gentle way he held my hand when we were at the clinic. It was impossible to ignore the connection growing between us, and I could feel my heart racing each time he smiled. One evening, we were sitting in my apartment, looking over baby names while eating takeout. The atmosphere was relaxed, filled with laughter and shared stories. It was moments like these that made me realize how much I cherished his presence. "Okay, what about Min for a boy?" Jungkook suggested, flipping through a list of names. "It's strong and meaningful," I chuckled, shaking my head. "And it sounds too much like Min as in small in Korean. We don't want our son to be known as the small one." Jungkook laughed, and I felt a rush of warmth at the sound. Okay, you're right. "What do you think about Taehyung?" "That's nice," I replied, feeling a flutter in my chest. "I like it." Just then, the conversation turned more serious. Jungkook's expression softened, and I could sense the shift. "You know, I've been thinking a lot about what this means for us. I never expected to develop such a strong bond with you during this process." His words caught me off guard. I had been feeling the same but hadn't had the courage to say it out loud. "I know what you mean. You've become so important to me, Jungkook." His eyes widened slightly, and I could see the surprise mixed with something deeper, longing. "Perhaps you felt it too." "Really?" he asked softly, his voice almost a whisper. "Really?" I confirmed, leaning closer, feeling the weight of unspoken feelings hanging in the air. "You've changed my life in ways I didn't think were possible. I admire your strength and how dedicated you are to Ji-yoon. You're an amazing person." Jungkook's cheeks flushed slightly, and I was taken aback by how cute he looked. "Tae, Before he could finish, my phone buzzed with a message. I glanced down to see it was a reminder about Jungkook's upcoming delivery date. I cursed under my breath, knowing I had to be careful with my words. "Sorry, I just remembered I need to prepare for the baby's arrival," I said, trying to mask my disappointment at the interruption. Let's focus on the nursery.